Women's rights are under attack. Around the world, our most basic human rights have become subject to debate. From the right to make decisions over our own body to accessing education and being equal under the law. The solutions to these problems all have one thing in common: money. Because money equals freedom, power, and opportunity of choice. Sadly, we live in a world where women are falling financially behind in every single country. On the surface, financial inequality appears to be a complex issue, but as we dive deeper, a few key root causes appear. One of them has to do with financial services, which I will be talking about today. First, I'll talk about the financial industry today and why it doesn't serve women. Then I'll give an example of change and hope. In the financial industry, women remain severely underrepresented, taking up just 18% of executive roles. This affects every aspect of the industry, from the products that are built to the problems that are being solved, the culture, the communication, and the products. Having so few women in positions of power means that financial institutions simply do not have the competencies to build financial services tailored to women, and it shows. Because of this, women don't trust or engage with many of the financial services that exist today. Consequently, they remain underrepresented as investors, and they don't manage their money as actively as their male counterparts. This investment gap is seen around the world, and it significantly impacts women's ability to build wealth. Of course, there are many underlying reasons behind this, but the failure of financial services to include women in positions of power is a large contributor. It all comes back to the lacking representation at the top of financial institutions. And I believe this is a direct result of financial institutions not taking women seriously and a lack of incentives to do so. While there are many ideas on how best to tackle this issue, one thing remains painfully clear. Rapid change will not happen without legislation to back it. I'm talking about quotas. We have tried with incentives, we have tried with good intentions and KPIs, but the fact remains that progress is painfully slow. A study from Deloitte says that in the next 10 years, we'll only see around a 4% improvement in women in executive roles in financial services. Because financial equality is a prerequisite for equality in all other areas, legislation on the area is necessary and justified. Taking women seriously and building in mind shouldn't just be done because it's the right thing to do. It should be done because financially empowering women benefits individuals, companies, and society as a whole. There is hope, and there is so much potential. Let's talk about it. Because now I want to share a story of how 3 women started a global movement by building products by women and for women. It's the story of a company that started out in a living room while at university and then scaled across the globe. It's the story of myself, my co-founders Emma and Camilla, and our company Female Invest. We founded Female Invest as a company in 2019 with a mission to close the financial gender gap by educating women on how to manage their money and begin investing. We fell in love with this issue because we all started investing as teenagers, and we experienced firsthand how difficult it is to find information by someone you can trust and who you can relate to. As we started learning about the issue, we realized that our own issue was actually a symptom of a global problem impacting women around the world. So clearly, we decided to ditch our plans for the future and dedicate our lives to solve it. We started to build a learning app and a community teaching women everywhere what we wish we would have learned ourselves through courses, webinars, expert access, and so much more. Most importantly, we wanted to create a safe space where women from all ages and backgrounds felt welcome. We had no money, no network, and no experience scaling a company. We had to learn everything from scratch, from building a platform to creating content, managing a team, and raising money in a world where 98% of VC funding goes to men. It wasn't easy. It isn't easy. This journey has taken everything we have and a little bit more. We almost went bankrupt twice. We faced more discrimination in the startup world than we ever imagined, and we weren't optimistic to begin with. But over the past 5 years, we've also achieved more than we ever thought possible. We have scaled our learning app to paying members across 125 countries. We have educated hundreds of thousands of women. We've built a global community, made the Forbes list, and raised $23 million, shattering glass ceilings in the VC world. While doing this, we have written books and sold more than 150,000 copies across the globe. We've had children along the way, and today our team counts 35 full-time employees. A lot has happened, but we're only just getting started. We're often asked why we are the best people to solve this issue, making space for women in the world of investing. The answer? In many ways, we're not. This issue should be solved by governments and financial institutions. So today, I invite everyone in this room to be part of the solution. It's time for change. It's time to take action. Are you ready?
Thank you. Now I give the floor to Ms. Ganapol.